Lads, I am in my researcher era. If you know anything about me, which you don't, but I'm telling you, is that I can get easily over-invested in things. Slightly toxic trait, I know. Doesn't matter though. But my new, okay, I'm not going to say obsession because that sounds weird, but basically, I love an interesting story. I love to find out information, and then I love to tell the information. Now, disclaimer, the information might not be correct. This is all my research, but I thought I'd bring you guys along with me on researching this thing. So what is it? What is it exactly that I am currently in the headspace of I need to know as much as I can about this. Whether it is factually correct or incorrect is yet to be determined, and the issue that I'm talking about is still very fresh and very up in the air. It might not be by the time this video comes out, but just know I was locked in because it had me captured on TikTok and also like everywhere else. So what is it exactly that I'm talking about? I'm talking about the case of the Chinese actor Yu Menglong. I'm probably saying his name wrong, very sorry, but I feel like I need to know. So here's what I know so far, but prior to my research. So just know this might not be correct. But there's a famous actor. He's been confirmed dead. They say he fell from the like 5th floor of this like luxury apartment building in Beijing. I don't think it's his apartment, but I need to check. Apparently at the time they were all saying that, like, the authorities were saying that it was a drunk accident and that there was no foul play. But later on, people started noticing some issues, like there was a lot of censoring, people who wanted to know like, oh, what happened? Like normally celebrity deaths are pretty like a topic of interest in China, but here like it was quite like scrubbed from the internet and stuff like that, so everyone was like, what the hell's going on? And so you know how it is, the internet sleuths, they're doing their thing and they're trying to find out all of these things, and then a lot of red flags start coming up. Something about a live stream being cut off, comments and profiles being like taken off and deleted, people are missing that they don't know about, people who should be vocal are not being vocal. And now there's some crazy conspiracy theories, but the thing that captured me, and to be honest, I think it's one of the reasons why I've been having a bit of trouble sleeping recently, because I will dream about random things, is a video. Now, there's a video that surfaced and I don't really want to watch it, but I've accidentally, not on purpose, seen some clips and heard some audio, and it's, let's just say it's not very pleasant. And now there's a lot of like conspiracy around what's going on, and there's also been speculation about certain high profile people that are involved, and maybe that's why people aren't talking about it. And also, where's his mum? Where's his mum? So yeah, I'm going to be diving into that, doing a little bit of a research into what the hell is going on. So come along with me to try and figure it out, and just to like, you know, be informed, because there was a time when I would never have heard about all of this. Also, this is really bad, but I don't really keep up to date with the news. I probably should, but I don't. Mostly because it can be a bit sad. It can be quite sad. Anyway, but like I said, when I hear about something, I fear I need to know a lot about stuff like this, and I have a personality that is sometimes a bit overly curious, and I probably have no business needing to know any of this, but sue me. Actually, don't sue me, I don't have any money. Okay, bye. I knew that my university degree, I mean, to be fair, I do use my degree a little bit for my job, but I knew that some things that I learned at uni were going to come in clutch one day, and one of those things is like research. And like, I'm not going to share that skill, okay, because people probably will be like, that's not how you do it. But listen, this is how I got through my degree with a relatively good grade, in my opinion, just saying. So that's what I am going to be doing. Now, I've already said that I feel like I need a bite of my bagel. I'm such a bagel girly now. I freaking love it. I did see that apparently they removed his name from the, you know, the actors list on Netflix. I don't think Netflix did it, but I'm not sure. But this is going to be interesting. So let me put some things together and then we'll see. Guys, a quick update. So I have been in the depths of my research and now I'm trying to just find a way to like collate it all so that it's actually simplified, because let me tell you, like, some of this information is giving confused.com. Okay, so it's a little bit crazy. I also do fear you're just gonna catch me in different states of eating, because yes, it's gone from breakfast to lunch now, because it's been like hours, like 6 hours since that time. Dehydrated queens, yes, I need to buy a new straw. Let's not talk about it. Anyway, I'm going to try and collate it all in a way that it's not too crazy and just feels relatable. So hopefully it's just going to be like your little bestie who's like interested in random things. Sorry about my nails as well, we don't talk about this. Just telling you all the information, okay? And then you can pass it on to your besties and tell them information, and then they're going to be like, wow, like, you just know such random stuff, and you're going to be like, I know. Okay, so I'm going to be your resident researcher, so you can go and tell the stories in snippets, even though I'm probably the worst storyteller ever. I was just telling my friends about my dreams. That's going to be a separate video. And also, not me telling them because I didn't record that, but I recorded my dream. I'm going to, I haven't done it yet. Not my dream. I can't record my actual dream, that would be quite cool. But yeah, anyway. And also what happens in True Haunting, the first part, the eerie hall part, and also what happens in The Woman in Cabin 10. I would just like to say, I already knew, like 5 minutes in, what was going to happen in that. Anyway, my food's smelling fantastic, so get it in me belly. Also, I think I'm about to watch Attack of Titans, but in French, because oh, that kimchi is ponytail radish kimchi is pungent. What is this on my face? Anyway. Oh. Oh. She is fermented. Anyway. What was I talking about? You know what? Just I have to say. I'll catch you when I have all of the information. I mean, not all the information, but all the information I could gather, which I think is enough to be a little bit informed. Yeah. Okay guys, sorry, I'm using my phone as a microphone. Don't even worry about it. But anyway, I have collated my research. Okay? Hair had to go back because it was making me feel some type of way. But anyway, the mystery is, what the helly has happened to Yu Menglong? Okay? This man, rising star. Now, he was 37. This man looks way younger than that, I would just like to say. I haven't personally watched any of these shows, but I think one of his most popular shows is called Eternal Love, and I think it's on Netflix. Anyway, what a craziness. So some background on him, he's pretty much considered a clean celebrity in the sense that he hasn't really had that many scandals or anything like that, especially in an industry like the Chinese entertainment industry where it's rife with scandal, and he hasn't really had that. He's been said to have like a gentle demeanor and presence and stuff like that, but now I fear he probably is involved in one of the biggest scandals, because let's move on to the accident. On September 11th, 2025, a dead body was found after it fell from a building in Beijing. Now, he was obviously, otherwise why would I be telling you? Like, that was him. But his death was quickly ruled an accident, and it was cited that it was because of intoxication and that he fell from the balcony. Sound a bit familiar about some other cases, but anyway, we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, there was a statement released confirming his passing. Okay, the public was asked not to spread any rumours, and this was also reinforced by the victim's own mother, who also said that she'd like to grieve in dignity. And I realise that this is kind of going against that, and I'm really sorry. But let's move on to the actual conspiracies and the rumours, because I'm trying to make a real condensed version here, which is the final message. So basically, not long after Yu had died, there had been an alleged final message that he'd sent to his mother, which has surfaced online, and in it he basically had written stuff about there's like, he doesn't want to, every time he transfers money he feels like vomiting, that it's dirty money, he didn't earn it, stuff like that, and people are saying online that it feels like he was being trapped or manipulated, but of course the authenticity of these text messages have not been able to be verified, particularly because nobody's really heard from his mother again, which again, she might be grieving in dignity, but listen, this knowledge is out there. I'm just telling y'all. Another thing that came up is this live stream. So around the same time that the text message rumours were coming out, there was also rumours about a live stream, and basically fans were claiming that Yu Menglong had gone on live. That's like a really, like, a lot of celebrities do that, but it's like a pretty big thing in like Asian entertainment, and he'll be on there, but apparently he was distressed in the live stream and he was very vague, and he was talking about being controlled, and people even said that he was making hand gestures that people over a long period of time could clip together and realize that he was making a specific hand gesture which was like a request for help. I'd never personally heard of that before, but apparently exists. And also that the live stream like abruptly like cut off, particularly when there was mentions of him saying like, oh, if something happens to me, just know that it's suspicious. That's crazy. But also the original videos like quickly disappeared. I haven't been able to see it. I've seen clips, but again, they could be AI generated. I don't know about all of that. So I couldn't particularly find any evidence about that, but I mean, it might be there. But still, so many people believe that he was being like silenced on the live stream, or that the live stream had been deleted on purpose because it was like a piece of the puzzle. But just another reason to why the rumours are being fueled, because it is a bit suspicious if somebody mentions that. But again, it might have been false, whatever. Now, the real allegations here are that this is a cover-up, because normally when a celebrity is meets an untimely death, there's a lot of investigation, but that just hasn't happened. There's people claiming that there's like surveillance footage or forensic details that are being hidden. His name is being scrubbed. I think I mentioned earlier about his name being scrubbed from Netflix, but also just from like searches. I was gonna say Google searches, but I think in China you're not allowed to use Google. So whatever their search engine platform is being scrubbed, and everyone's like, what is going on? And then also, like I said, there was allegations that potentially his mother was being silenced or monitored after his death, and that's why nobody's like heard from her. Again, cannot say that these are true, but the cover-ups are potentially, I feel like I haven't been going through my thing. This was the live slide. This was the cover-up slide. This is the powerful figure slide. I'm sorry, that was really badly timed, but I'm not filming this again because I cannot be bothered. I've already spent a lot of time doing this research. But there's a lot of speculation that there's rumours involving high-ranking officials with connections in the entertainment industry and in the government, that we're there's claims going around that Mei Long became entangled with them, and that there was some type of financial corruption or even money laundering. So apparently there's speculation that somebody might have been using his name to like open like a shell company and then like clean their money through it, and that he didn't want to be a part of it, or he never knew that he was a part of it, or he was part of it and he didn't want to be anymore, or he's been manipulated, or like whatever, to take part in that. So some figures are going on there, but then this is the part that, this is one of the first things that I'd ever heard about, which was the allegations of assault and torture. So there's some online sources that have gone to suggest that the hospital that he'd been taken to after he was found and was also pronounced dead, that the injuries he sustained was not as simple as a fall. There was potentially stab wounds, needle marks, signs of like being drugged, not just intoxication. But the official reports only list intoxication and injuries because of the fall. And there's not really been any like independent verification of this, or the Chinese authorities are obviously, for understandable reasons, keeping it in-house because this investigation, although I do believe it's not an open investigation anymore, so I guess in that sense I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I don't know what their procedures are, so maybe that's what they do, and that maybe all these rumours are completely baseless and they've already like checked all of that. But then we move on to the fact that there's been censorship. So again, a lot of the rumours I think have gained fuel from the fire of being censored, because there's a lot of things that are being deleted, like posts about his death are being deleted, any talks on Chinese social media networking sites are being deleted. And apparently at one point the Beijing police had detained 3 women for spreading like misinformation and false allegations, and that's to like deter fans, etc. But a lot of things were going on. Again, like I haven't really mentioned like what was, the video might not be true, but there's a lot of speculation that apparently there was like this party going on, and that he was at this party but not of his own free will. And there's also allegations that, and speculation that he had like ligature marks around his wrists, etc., being tied up. Somebody said that he had his abdomen had been cut open, so there's like this whole conspiracy theory about like a USB drive or something that he'd swallowed to like hide information, and that people were trying to take it out. There's also speculation that voices can be heard in the video saying these kind of things, that we don't care, like blah blah, get the information. I haven't seen the video. I don't want to see the video. That sounds scary. I already have nightmares. I don't need to see that. But why is it that people are believing these conspiracies? And I think there's like 4 main reasons. Firstly, I think it's because the police were very quick to rule out any foul play, and that made people suspicious, because there's usually a bit more of an investigation, particularly if someone has fallen from a building. I couldn't really find too much information about this, but apparently there'd been, especially if he was at the party, like why was nobody at the party saying like, our friend has fallen, you know, like unless they didn't notice, but I don't know. There's also speculation that there was a shadowy figure, or like a woman's figure, who found moving his body from where he had initially fell, which was obviously closer to the apartment, to a little bit further away. A lot of stuff like that has been circulating. Also, secondly, there's also very little information about things like the autopsy, the CCTV footage, toxicology report that's been released. I would like to know publicly, because again, we don't know what the authorities are doing. They could be doing whatever they wanted, but I think that is what's fueling these rumours online. Third, apparently that, you know, the final message, that kind of indicates, and the live stream kind of is a bit spectacle. That's not the word. Speculative. Is that the word? I don't know. Anyway, and of course, I think a lot of people in general are just interested in like Chinese media and stuff like that, so that can help fuel the fire. If you're a fan, like someone's untimely death can cause you to like spiral, or like think about it, or like you think something is not true, or like there's something like a bigger picture of something happening in the background. Also, I think the whole censorship of stories and everything, like we don't really know what goes on in certain part of the world, because yours, to be honest, I don't even know what's going on here half the time, but you don't know like how things like that work, so maybe that I think people are filling in the gaps here with rumours and submission. Submission? No, suspicion. But anyway, at this point, we don't know the truth about Yu Menglong's death. It might be that he was intoxicated and fell from the balcony. He might not be. But what we do know is that clearly he had a lot of fans, because a lot of people are looking into this and thinking like this is so bad. And again, it's tragic because he was 37. He wasn't that old. Our lifelines are much, like, expected life expectancy at this stage in life is much longer, and it just feels a bit sinister, and this is really sad. But anyway, if you find any more information, if you think that you've seen a rumour, or not a rumour, seen evidence, that's probably a better way to put it, then let me know, because again, chronically curious girl right here. And so I'd like to know and fill in that gap of information in my brain. So anyway, this was a really, I actually don't know how long this was, condensed version of like what I was able to conjure up. So yeah. Oh, sorry, my thumb's kind of hurting. I don't know why I even tried to do that. My thumb's hurting, so I can't straighten it. Anyway, that's it. If you want me to research anything else, let me know. Happy to do research for other people so you guys can just hear the video.